Let's talk about the Colts. All right, where should we begin? Let's take it back to right before the NFL draft, or better yet, the season in which Peyton Manning was out with the neck injury. And let's understand something here. The Napoleons brought in one of the college's top coaches, all right, and Jim Tressel. They brought him in and they wanted him to learn how to do things in the NFL, how to conduct business, how training camps are run, how the season is done on the NFL level. Sit here, sit in this meeting, sit in that meeting, read this script, read that script. Learn how we handle things here in the NFL. So that way, when the season is over and they fire Jim Caldwell, we'll go ahead and bring you in, and you won't be so green to this. You'll have at least a year under your belt in the NFL system and knowing how things are done. So that way, it'll make your transition into being an NFL head coach that much smoother. Now, right now, Jim Tressel has completed his show cause for college football, where he can just go ahead and get any college football job that he wants to, and he doesn't have to, or the college doesn't have to report on him every week concerning the things that he's doing. That's now over with. So anyway, let's take it back. So the Napoleons had him ready to go. The season was over with. They fired Jim Caldwell, and all they had to do was just go ahead and have some token interviews, all right, with what they call quote-unquote non-white coaches, and go ahead and hire Jim Tressel and put him in place. And that was a good call. That would have been a great call to have Jim Tressel as the Colts head coach, with them drafting Andrew Luck with the number 1 pick. And go ahead and all honesty, they should have traded Peyton Manning, but that's a whole different subject. It worked out well for Denver and for Indianapolis. But anyway, but the Colts owner, Jim Irsay, threw a monkey wrench into the whole plans. He fired the Irsays for who knows why. All right. Alleged drinky, pilly. Alleged. Who knows? Maybe his thoughts were a little clouded. So he fired the Napoleons, and then he had 2 interviews with Jim Tressel. Now, normally when you interview a head coaching candidate twice, it's normally a lock that they get the job. But that's not what happened. He turned around and hired a guy that we had pretty much never heard of before in Chuck Pagano. Now, it left a lot of people scratching their heads like, wait a minute, who is Chuck Pagano? How come nobody's ever heard of him? And truth be told, he was at the time the Ravens defensive coordinator. And when you have Ray Lewis, Haloti Ngata, Ed Reed, and Terrell Suggs on your defense, and also I forget the other guy that's in the secondary, the corner, whose name escapes me right now. Sorry, things happen like that. It's 1:21 in the morning. You have to give me a pass here. When you have those players on your team, anybody can coach the defense and you'll be successful. It's not hard. You've got Hall of Famers across the board in every key critical position. Safety, pass rushing linebacker, middle linebacker, and nose tackle. All right? Arrington, that's his name. That's his name, at corner. So, you shouldn't have a problem coaching that defense to win some games. The players will just make the plays for you. But anyway, he got the job. And the first thing I said was, he just killed Andrew Luck's career. His career will be like Dan Marino's. It'll be marred in fantastic moments, but nothing to show for it but stats. All right? Now, under Jim Tressel, this is what would have happened. Because those of us here in Ohio, we know Jim Tressel very well. We know his coaching style. And just based on Jim Tressel's coaching style, it would have been perfect for Andrew Luck. Because what he would have gotten was a defensive coach who had no problem installing a power running game with a sound, hard-hitting defense. Okay, with a quarterback that would have thrown only when he needed to, especially in the second half once he had a lead. Because Jim Tressel, he'll take a 10-point lead, a 14-point lead, and sit on it, and he'll just power football and run out the clock on you, which is fundamentally sound football. It will win you football games. We're talking about a guy whose team beat Miami in a national championship game. All right, and appeared in a few more, although they got blown out because they didn't have the skill players to compete. But in the NFL, with the Polians doing the drafting, and although a lot of people say near the end they kind of got a little funny with the draft as far as picking players, I doubt very highly that they would have missed picking up some offensive linemen that could just pass block and also be some maulers. It's not hard. I mean, the Browns got a mauler in Bitonio. Okay? I mean, they got Alex Mack. They picked up Joe Thomas. It's not hard to find maulers. So anyway, since that was thrown out the window, you got Pagano, and I really wish he would have stepped down when he got cancer. I mean, I'm not crapping on his cancer. I mean, hey, he survived it. My mother's a survivor of cancer, so hey, I get it. But the rigors of the NFL is a lot strenuous than a retiree from the government. Anyway, my point is that when Pagano got hired, I knew that Andrew Luck was in trouble. Because if you look at all of the comeback victories that Andrew Luck has, it has nothing to do with coaching. He did those comebacks and a lot of those wins in spite of the bad coaching that he's surrounded by. Look at what's going on this season. He's getting murdered because his offensive line cannot pass block for anything, and they've never been able to pass block ever since he got there. All right, just look at the stats. If you blitz him 9 times out of 10, you're going to. If you don't get him, you're going to land a lick on him. Just check the stats. The man is beat up. That's why he was out for a few games, because he was getting murdered behind that offensive line, which is incredibly offensive to him. So, you just wasted 4 years of Andrew Luck's life, of his football life, because Pagano is not going to be back next season. I'd be lucky if he lasts the season with the way that they're playing and as badly as they're playing. So with Pagano gone, what's going to happen is they're probably going to hire some fresh, new, mediocre, but yet he's going to have a shiny name, offensive coordinator. They might go for the guy in the Patriots, Josh McDaniels, who ruined Denver. They might actually interview him and try to put him in there. Or they might try to hire Shanahan's son down in Atlanta, because he's bucking for a head coaching job. But the problem is that they're going to try to turn. The problem is they're trying to turn the Colts into this all-passing team, and that's not going to work. What you need around Andrew Luck right now, after 4 years of beatings, okay, what you need is a solid ground game, a real strong ground game, all right, which means that whatever. I think Adrian Peterson is supposed to be a free agent at the end of the year, I believe. You need to throw all the money you can at him, even have Andrew. I think Andrew Luck he just signed this multi-million-dollar contract. Have him give back some money. Throw that money at Adrian Peterson. Throw that money at the offensive line. Go ahead and make some draft choices, or better yet, go after Alex Mack, who will be a free agent at the end of the year, because he has a opt-out clause in his contract after 2 years, and he's on his second year, and the Browns aren't going anywhere. But that's a whole different story. I'll talk about that later in my Browns report. Just go ahead and make an offer to Alex Mack. Go ahead and make an offer to Adrian Peterson. Draft a couple of offensive linemen. You're set on offense, in all honesty. You just need to rebuild your running game and your offensive line, and then maybe some help on defense. Hire a real bona fide defensive coordinator like that Mangini. In all honesty, is a bona fide defensive coordinator. You need to try to lure him from San Francisco, which you probably won't. I don't know. It depends on his contract, because he's been there for a couple years. He might be on a 3-year deal. Who knows? I have to look into that. But you need to hire a defensive coordinator that likes to play hard-nosed, sound defense. Okay? That's what you need. You need a defensive coordinator that knows his stuff. Whoever is going to be a free agent or a free coach that's top notch, you need to try to lock him down. Throw some money at him and say, hey, look, the defense is yours. If you do that, or if you can't get Peterson, use your number 1 draft pick. Hopefully you can get one of these top flight running backs coming out. Maybe Ezekiel Elliott, or the kid that everybody's talking about that plays, I think he plays for LSU. You need to get one of those guys, because Frank Gore is done. This is his last year in the NFL. He should retire. Should have retired at the end of last year, but that's a whole different story. You're set on offense. You just need to get that running game and that offensive line together. And you just play power football. And you protect Andrew Luck. Let him throw when he needs to throw. Don't keep trying to win games on his arm, because, man, all of those Colts victories where you saw when he was down by 28 points in the fourth quarter or 14 and he had to will that team to victory, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous that your rookie, first year, second year, third year, fourth year quarterback has to will a team to victory for being down by more than 14 points. That's crazy. That lets me know that you're not doing your job. That he has to step up and do the job for you. Okay? That's crazy. But that's probably not what's going to happen. They're probably going to hire another mediocre, hot name assistant. And Andrew Luck's going to spend another 4 years toiling under that regime, okay, before they fire that guy and then bring in another guy. And in all honesty, I put it to you like this. Whoever they bring in next year, if it's not somebody that actually knows what the hell they're doing and the draft looks like crap, where they're trying to get all these skilled players instead of getting somebody that can protect him and a running back, if I was Andrew Luck, I wouldn't sign another contract with them. I wouldn't sign another contract. I'd be like, I'm playing out this contract and I'm out of here. I will be a free agent, and you can franchise tag me all you want to. It won't do you any good, because you only get 1 year of that and I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. Gone. And I would find a team with a set running game, all right, with a set offensive line that gives up the least amount of sacks in a year. And I'd go, and yeah, I mean, the NFL's a business. Of course, you have to bump another quarterback out. But right now, what team wouldn't take Andrew Luck? Seriously, I mean, what team wouldn't? Even the Patriots right now would take Andrew Luck. Don't be misled. Oh, Denver would love him. Okay, Denver would love him. The Giants would love him. Believe you me, all you need is just a solid ground game and pass protection. But other than that, Andrew Luck is screwed. He is screwed. He has to, either Indianapolis next year, whoever they hire as a head coach, either they get it right with the coaching staff and the draft, or Andrew Luck should bounce. It's plain and simple as that. All right, that's my Colts talk. You guys take care.